Okay, good morning, all friends. Let's begin today. So, we people are going to start our class. In previous class, we people have discussed about synonyms, antonyms, prefix, suffix, and questions based on this. So, in today's class, we people will discuss about some points which are related to ISC second. And if you have any questions, doubts, then we people will solve it, and then we people will continue with whatever we people were doing. Okay, in previous class. So let's begin. I will share the screen. You people just let me know if my voice is audible to everybody and the screen is visible. Okay, all right. So let's see about 3.1 today. That is situational conversation. We people are going to look. But I did not receive any reply. Is it audible? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
So, okay, in case of assignments, I tried to check, but what happened that because of each assignment you people are submitting, and again that you people are submitting with any of the ways. So I tried to see, but there are a lot of files which I have received, and out of that I have to sort it. For example, if anyone is there, for example, roll number one will send me 12 files, and that will be not again in sorted format. So I have to sort each and everybody's 12 assignments. So it is taking time. So if you have submitted, you need not to worry about. It will reach to me, and I will give confirmation also simultaneously those who have received your assignments. Apart from that, those who are not yet submitted, for them I would like to tell that how they can submit. So first of all, there should be your division, that will be division A. Then you people have to give underscore. Then your roll number will be, suppose my roll number is 1, then you people are going to mention your roll number, and then you people are going to mention your assignment number. For example, if I'm going to upload assignment number 1, that it will be again underscore and 01 you are going to mention, and then your initial, suppose like this format you people can follow. If you have not yet submitted, those who have already submitted, in that case it will be okay. So I have sent the format into chat box. So it shows division A, then my roll number is 1 and assignment number 1, and then my initial, something like this. So apart from that, no need to mention CS or something like this, or your full name is not required. If I'm going to submit assignment number 2, your people are going to rename it with division A, roll number 1 and 02. Number of assignment will be 02. So same files will be 1 to 12 of roll number 1 will reach to me. And in case of roll number 2, it will change now A02, again assignment number 1 to 12, something like this. You people can do what you're like. Somebody is in the morning also asked me that whether they can submit in bulk, like three assignments. They can make one PDF and they can submit. In that case, you people mention assignment numbers for that file. For example, if you are submitting assignments, 4 assignments together, you people have to mention assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And if you are going to submit all 12 assignments in one PDF only, so in that case you mention assignment number 1 to 12. Okay, so like that you can submit one PDF also. It is, I don't have any problem. In fact, if you send it in one PDF, it will be simpler for me, because in one PDF I can find all your 12 assignments. If you are submitting it separately, I have to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 files I have to check for that. So as per your convenience, you can just decide whether you want to submit in one PDF, or you want to make 3 or 4, or whether you want to submit it separately. And if you already submitted, don't do anything, and if you are about to submit, you can follow this. Okay, so with this, let's begin to the unit number 3, that it was oral communication. Okay, so in oral communication, it is very important. Okay, so Pooja, if you want to choose, is it necessary to submit all 12 files in that case? If it is necessary, in that case, you have to submit it separately. And if it is not necessary to submit all 12 files, you can submit it one PDF also, and remaining you will not submit. But you have to rename it ki how many assignments you are submitting in that PDF: 1 to 3, maybe 4 to 6, something like this, or 1 to 12, something like this. Okay. Uh, if you have still any questions afterwards, you can just call me. We people will discuss about some uh, situational conversation. Okay, so oral communication, I was talking about oral communication. And in oral communication, we people have to just think about that this is not just for exam only, or don't think. In fact, we people don't have any exam also, but we people have to understand its importance when you people would like to just start your career. Maybe imagine that you have completed your 4 years of engineering, and you have passed your BTech, and now you people are looking for a job. So that time, your communication matters a lot. If you are just going to face interviews, if you are going to face group discussions, if you are going to uh, face professional people, it is not only group discussion or interviews also. Imagine that you have cracked the group discussion, you have passed the interview, you got selected also. Even then also, whatever communication you people are going to do in that company, in that organization, at workplace, you people are expected to communicate in English. So therefore, your oral communication in English is going to matter a lot. So don't just look at it from getting marks only, for maybe just this particular SEM only. It is not limited only for this SEM, this ISC, or this year only. But in fact, throughout your life, you people have to pay attention that how you people can improve your oral communication, so that you can work efficiently, you can communicate with people, other people. Sometimes you are expected to communicate from other people, nations, who are from abroad. With these people also, you people need to communicate, because these days, because of globalization, all people, they are just coming in contact with each other from abroad also. So in that case, you are expected to communicate people from maybe China, maybe from Japan, maybe from Australia, Canada, USA, England, etc. So in that case, it becomes convenient if you are very well versed with English communication. So therefore, you people focus on how you people can improve your oral communication. And here, what we people are going to discuss today, that is situational conversation, is one of the ways that you people can implement to improve your oral communication. So what is this situational conversation? Usually, that you people have been given one situation, and you people have to develop this situation, that dialogues. In fact, you people have to imagine that there are two people, minimum two people. There can be more than two also. So in these situation, what probable communication take place between these two persons, so that you people are going to write it down in the form of dialogue, or in a conversation. And you can practice it. Don't just write down, you can just give situation to your friend, and also ask your friend to discuss it. So at initial stage, you can do like this. Initial stage, you have to write it down, and then you just read it, and then you practice it without watching it. Okay, so at later stage, or at later level, you people have to directly think of situation and directly start your dialogues, directly start speaking with your friends. Okay, so therefore it is important that you people should practice this, which will help to improve your oral communication. Okay, so let's see here what is discussed. So it says a dialogue is a conversation between two or more people in a variety of situations. So as I just told you, so what is dialogue? Dialogue is a conversation. MCQ might be your ask, what is a dialogue? So you people have to answer that dialogue is a conversation, or dialogue is in the form of conversation. And in that conversation, how many people are required? Minimum two, or it can be more than two also. Okay, so its name suggests, if you separate this word dialogue, you'll come to know dialogue is made up of two words, die and another one is log. Okay, so if you think, die means what? Die means two. Okay, and log means conversation. So in this case, you'll come to know it is conversation between two people or more than two people, and it is a variety of situations. When we say variety of situations, so that time it comes like that day-to-day situations. When you wake up and you have some talk with your family members, you talk with your brother and sister, you have talk with your friends, you talk when you go to college or school, there you have talk with your teachers, with your principal, with when you go in the society, in the market, you have talk with some maybe vegetable sellers and lots of people. You go to the doctor and you go to shop and you want to buy mobile. So situations are unlimited, but they are related to our day-to-day life. So these are variety of situations where you may come across in your day-to-day life also. So dialogue writing helps the students to express their ideas and thoughts easily and constructively. So why we people are going to learn about this dialogue writing? Because here you'll to come to know that how you people can express your ideas. So what your thoughts and ideas that are coming to your mind, so in that case you should be in position to express them in an easy way, in a constructive way. So therefore dialogue writing is important. Proper dialogue writing needs skill and command over the language. Now pay attention that if you want to write a dialogue, what you are expected to have, you should have the skill of writing. And another thing, what should you have? You should have command over the language. Command over the language, you should know language very well. And in case of we people, which language we people are going to prefer? Not in your mother tongue, but we are going to choose English, which is language of our profession. So therefore it is necessary that you people should get command over English, so that you people will be in position to write dialogues as well as various kinds of documents, and lots of things are there associated with this English language that you people have to use in your professional life as well as in written communication and oral communication. Okay, so with this, now pay attention that here some steps which are provided, and you people can see what steps you people have to follow. So first of all, it says dialogue writing contains the following major steps, and out of this first one is greetings. Have we discussed this? झालंय का हे अगोदरच्या लेक्चर मध्ये or not done? Somebody reply yes or no. Have we done this or not? Because I thought that we have done this. आवाज येतोय काय ऐकायला?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
हा, ओके. सो इफ यू रिमेंबर दॅट, इफ इट इज डन, की मागच्या लेक्चरमध्ये झालं असं वाटत असेल तर टेल मी येस इट इज डन, नसेल तर वी आर गोइंग टू कंटिन्यू एनिवे. झालंय का हे असं काही?
नाही झालं सर.
Okay, thank you. So first step that you people have to take while writing dialogue, that will be of greetings. Okay, so greetings means what here? Maybe in your mother tongue you are not going to use greetings at all. Maybe तुम्ही भेटला कुठं एकमेकाला की लगेच काय चाललंय, कुठं चाललंय, कसं चाललंय, असं you are just start your communication like this. But as far as English language, you cannot begin your conversation directly. First of all, there are greetings, and these greetings, they are according to as per the time of the day. So maybe if it is morning time, so morning time usually up to 12 p.m. Okay, so people can use good morning. Okay, so that greeting you people have to use whenever you people are meeting, coming across. So you people have to greet people with this. Okay, you people have to ensure that you are greeting each and everyone. Maybe every day you are meeting them people, but first when you meet, you people have to greet by saying good morning sir, good morning madam, and if it is common you are addressing to many people, good morning simply, that will be okay. So you people have to think of this. Then you people can see up to 4 or 5 you people can use. Let's assume that at up to 4 o'clock you people are going to use good afternoon. So you people have to think of this also. Then again you will come to know that sometimes if you meet a person at 1 o'clock, even then also sometimes you'll come to know that people are using good morning. So why? Any reason? Can anybody tell me की दुपारी जरी भेटलं तरी एखाद्या वेळेस गुड मॉर्निंग हे वापरलं जाऊ शकतं, तर त्याच्या पाठीमागचं रिझन काय असू शकतं? If you are meeting first time in the day, so that time maybe in the afternoon also, that time good morning असं use केलं जाऊ शकतं, but it is not hard and fixed rule. You can use good morning, good afternoon as per what we people have studied. No necessary to think of this thing. And then see that up to night time we cannot specify, but usually it is up to 10, 11, at up to the time you go to bed, up to time you go to sleep. Okay, till that people are going to use this greeting, which will be good evening. Okay, so these are the greetings that you people have to use to greet people whenever as per your situation and your timings. And when should we use good night? When do we use? Is there any specific time or way, or uh, how should you use good night? Or any time, or it is up to 12 p.m. am, something like this in the night? So when you people meet in the evening, so at the beginning you people are going to say good evening, and suppose that if your conversation is over and you are going to take leave of that person, in that case you people have to use good night. Okay, it should not be that up to 12 in the night you people have to use good night. No, not necessarily like this. Okay, so you people have to greet people. So now pay attention that here it says that beginning of the dialogue has to be with greetings. So whenever you're going to start your dialogue, you use greetings. Greet the other person according to the time of the day. So as I just told you, if it is morning time, afternoon time, evening time, accordingly good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you people are going to use. The language of dialogue will differ depending on whether the situation is formal or informal. Another point you people have to consider that whether the situation you are going to write dialogue about is formal or informal. So in formal situations, usually you people have to take care of your language. It is time bound, topic bound, and usually it is professional. Okay, and in case of informal, here it is that you people are talking with maybe there is no any restriction of time. You can use any words, language, and here you can have lots of maybe fun also. So when you talk to your friends, family members, relatives, neighbors, etc., that talk is informal talk. And if you talk to your teachers, your colleague, your boss, your meetings, etc., that will be formal talk. So depending upon that, you people have to choose about the greetings. With a known or unknown person, in formal situations use terms like good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in formal situations greetings you people can use like hi or hello. You people can use this. Okay, so this is first step. Then next step you people are going to talk about, that is development of dialogue. Okay, what is mean by development of dialogue? Now people have to think of the situation. Which situation is given to you? It may be between two persons like doctor and patient, or passenger and maybe conductor, or maybe uh, any other situation like two students, or teacher and student, principal and teacher, principal and student, something like this situation will be there. And then you people have to think that how you people can develop this dialogue, and it should sound naturally. It shouldn't be like this that you are just somehow you are trying to stretch your dialogue. It shouldn't be like this. You people have to write dialogue in such a way that it should sound naturally. म्हणजे दोन व्यक्ती ज्यावेळेस एकत्र येतात त्यावेळेस नॅचरल कम्युनिकेशन काय प्लेस होऊ शकतं ते लक्षात घ्यायचं आणि अकॉर्डिंगली पीपल हॅव टू develop that dialogue. Okay, so include questions with proper question marks, exclamations with proper exclamation marks, etc., so that the dialogue sounds real. म्हणजे आता मी जसं सांगितलं की बोलताना आपण नॅचरली बोलू शकतो, बट while writing it should sound natural. So therefore people have to use punctuation marks like question marks असतील, exclamation marks असतील, किंवा maybe full stop, colon, semicolon, etc. You people have to use it correctly. Use correct expressions like excuse me, sorry, thank you, please, may I know. These are some of the words which are going to make your language polite, and you are going to use it for maybe getting some information, etc. Okay, so you have to develop dialogue properly. And then here it is the last one, that would be closing sentences. Okay, so closing sentences, it means that you people have to close your dialogue. Now this talk is going to end, you people are going to stop the talk, so that time you are going to close it. So dialogue should end with proper sentences depending on whether situation is formal or informal. In formal situations, use the expressions like good day to you, have a nice day, thank you very much for your help, it was a pleasure talking to you. Okay, so these are some of the examples given here. You can choose anyone, you can choose others also. And this is in formal situation. And if it is informal situation, in this informal situation, you people are going to choose bye, take care, see you soon, tata. These are some of the examples that you people can use in informal situations. Okay, so these are the points that you people have to consider while writing a dialogue. Apart from that, I have told you that you people have to take care of punctuation marks, you people have to take care of spelling mistakes and grammar, etc., when you are going to write down dialogues. Okay, so some examples you people have been given here. So first situation is dialogue between two friends regarding the schedule of final exam ahe, between the bank manager and a customer about opening a new account, or between an office staff of the student section and a student who inquires about the scholarship, or you can say two students discussing about the timetable. Again, the same situation repeated here. Between two friends about how they plan to spend their vacation, between two friends about their hobbies, between the librarian and a student who has lost a book of the library, between father and son about the importance of reading in life. Okay, so these are some situations which are given here. Out of that, you people can choose any of the situation, and you people just try to write your own dialogues. Why we people have to write our own dialogues? Because here everybody's imagination is different, everybody don't sing in the same way. What I think it is not what you people think, or what I imagine, it is not the same what you imagine. So therefore we people will take one situation like this, we'll take between the bank manager and the customer about opening a new account, and we people will try to develop this dialogue. Okay, so I will share one another whiteboard. You people just let me know if it is visible. So is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So what our situation is between bank manager. So there are two characters in this dialogue. One is bank manager and another is a customer. And what is situation? Customer wants to open a new account in the bank. So let's imagine that what probable communication would take place there. And let's see that here we people will first of all use persons, like you can use names also, but customer, C stands for customer. So customer, first of all, if he goes to there in the bank, so our dialogue begins with greetings. So customer is going to say good afternoon sir, this is the greeting. And then now it is turn of bank manager. So BM stands for bank manager. So bank manager will say again in reply to this. And then now usually this dialogue is in the form of question and answer format. So bank manager may ask like, how may I help you? Okay, So now this has become question. So now it is customer's turn. So now customer is going to say, I want to open a new account in your bank. Okay, don't use short forms UR or something like this. You have to write everything in complete words. Don't try to use short forms here. Okay. Then next will be, it's now bank manager's turn. He may ask which, if you want to develop your dialogue, which type of account do you want to open? So now there are 2 3 different types of accounts are usually it is saving account, current account, and business or salary account. So imagine that this customer wants to open a saving account. So he will reply that I want to open a savings account. Okay. So after this, now bank manager will just see that he will ask another what procedure is going to, he will ask, have you brought all documents? Okay, so something like that he is going to ask. Then now it is customer's turn, and he's going to again see if he doesn't know. Imagine here he doesn't know, he's going to ask which documents are required for opening a new account. So question is followed by another question. So bank manager has asked, have you brought all documents? So now here customer again asking which documents are required for opening a new account. So now here bank manager will give a detailed list of documents. He may ask you one passport size photo. Apart from that, he can ask you, you can mention 2 3 names of documents, PAN card or Aadhaar card, something like that. You people add, or you can just say photo, address, proof of address, proof of identity, etc. And their photocopy, Xerox. Okay. So now it will be customer. So if he has these documents, he will say, he's going to say, yes, sir, I have all these documents. Here are they. Okay, here then he is given handing over the documents to the bank manager. So additionally, you people can write down instructions in the bracket. So now here what happened की कस्टमरनी ते कागदपत्र बँक मॅनेजरकडे दिले असं आपल्याला एक डिटेल द्यायचे असेल. सो यू कॅन यूज ब्रॅकेट्स अँड यू कॅन राईट डाऊन दॅट customer hands over documents to the bank manager. So this is additional extra skill. Okay, so if you are going to think about this, and if you are just thinking that something in between going to happen, so people have to use bracket and give details in bracket. Okay, so maybe here if you want to add more, so here that customer will say, sir, I don't have PAN card, so that I can I have ration card. So will it be working for you? So in that case, bank manager will say yes. Instead of PAN card, you can use ration card also. Or bank manager will say no, PAN card is mandatory. You have to submit PAN card. Okay, so this probably, you imagine, your imagination will decide that how effective you people can write. Okay, so now next, if documents are handed over, then what bank manager is going to say? He's going to give you application form with all necessary details. Okay, so now here again you can write down bank manager hands over an application form to the customer, and then customer fills this application form, and then he gives back it to uh, bank manager. Also, bank manager will tell him that and attach photocopy, or you can use Xerox also, to photocopies of documents to this form. So here again, you people can write down instructions in the bracket. Now customers fills application form and attaches documents and gives back to the bank manager. Okay, so this is what you people can add. So now this form has been submitted to the bank manager. So now it's customer's turn. So customer is going to ask more about when will I get my passbook or checkbook and a debit card, or you can say ATM card. Okay, so this is again question. So now bank manager will give some details or deadlines. You will get your passbook or checkbook and ATM card by post within 1 week. Okay, so this is, and if you want to add extra, what are the transaction ways, internet banking, number of questions you people can add and develop here. So it is going to help you like this. So now here, imagine that people want to close, that much is enough. Customer has satisfied all his queries, and now he wanted to just close. So now it is now customer's turn. So customer is going to say, thank you very much for your kind help. Okay, so now bank manager will say, it's my pleasure. You can say it's my pleasure, it's my happiness, something, whatever you can use here. And last closing again, customer is going to say, have a nice day, have a great day, something like this is going to use, and exclamatory mark will be there. And now bank manager will also say that, thank you and same to you. So here you people have done with your dialogue. So minimum 8 to 10 dialogues you are expected to write down, and you people have to think that how efficiently, how effectively, and how correctly you people are going to add details in your dialogue. So here I'm not able to write down, but you people have to think that all these semicolons should be below to one another. It should not be like in zigzag way. So that is going to give a presentation. Your presentation should be good. As already I told you that spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes should not be there. And punctuation marks you people have to use wherever it is necessary. Question mark, full stop, comma, you people have to use it. So this way you people just try to write down dialogue. Every day you people can take one situation and try to develop dialogue. This is not just for writing for ISC paper only, but in your day-to-day life and improving your oral communication also, it is going to help you. Okay, इज इट क्लिअर? कळतंय का काय कमी जास्त अडचणी वगैरे आहेत का अजून काय? Okay, so if you want to take screenshot of this, you can take it, or if it is okay, I will just make it clear. So is it okay for you? काय अडचण आहे का कोणाला?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So I will make it clear. And after this, we people will go back for now reading comprehension. We people will think. Okay, once again, I will share this screen, and you people just try to see that in this reading comprehension also there is nothing to teach, in fact. And this kind of question answers you people have been doing since your 8th standard perhaps. Okay, so in this what happens usually, there is one passage given, unseen passage is given, and you people have to read this passage carefully, and then you people have to answer the questions based on this passage. Okay, so let's see that reading comprehension. If you go here in 4.1, okay, so just let me know, is it visible, reading comprehension? Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So this comprehension is an ability to understand something in context with language study. Comprehension is an exercise where content is understood, incorporated, and reproduced in your own words. So here also I would like to tell you, this is not just for getting marks. Why it is not just for getting marks only? Because here in your professional life, you people are going to come across with lots of such reading comprehension, because you people are going to receive some emails. So you people have to read your emails very carefully, and accordingly you have to work out. Then you people are going to get some documents, reports, letters, and so many other things are also there, that you people have to read it carefully, and then you people have to understand it. You people have to just interpret, and if it is required, in that case you people have to reproduce it also. So therefore it is important in your professional life also. So don't consider this is one passage simple and you people can manage it, you can answer all questions. Usually we have a habit ki we find out the words in question, and same words we try to find out in passage. And if you found these words in passage, you write 2 to 3 lines near to that word, and your answer is ready. But now you are going to become professional. You don't think from the point of student only, but you think from the point of, as a professional, as an employee, you think of this. Okay, so an engineering professional has to understand technical as well non-technical concepts, ideas, or messages at workplace. I just told you that as a engineer, as a professional, as an employee, the people will come to know with some technical and non-technical concepts, passages, or messages in your life. So thus there is a need of understanding the unfamiliar uh, content by paying careful attention to context and reproducing the same if required. So before joining an industry, an engineering student has to face a recruitment process where comprehension is used as a tool to find out how well a candidate understands content and language. So again, if you are planning to face competitive exams like MPSC, UPSC, or recruitment process also, some of the companies, they add such reading comprehension in their aptitude, and questions are based on passage they add. So here some tips are also given for you people, that what you people can do with this reading comprehension. So first of all, you people have to read the given passage carefully. This is the must condition. Directly don't go to the answers to try, don't try to find out answers here. Okay, so read the given passage carefully first of all. And sometimes in one reading it is not possible that you people are going to understand everything, so maybe second reading is required, sometimes third reading is also required. So depending upon time available, you can just have second and third reading. Then next tip is here, that try to understand the central idea of the passage. Okay, so central idea means what? Here you people are just trying to find out what the writer is trying to convey, that you people have to understand. And if you just got the idea that what writer is trying to say to you, in that case it is easier for you that you people can find out answers easily. Then next, you people have to go to read the questions carefully and try to locate the answers from the given paragraph. So sometimes that answers are there easily available and simply you can find out, but sometimes answer is not straightforward, it is hidden somewhere, and in that case you people have to find out that where answer exactly is. Sometimes it is scattered in the passage, 2 to 3 lines you people have to find out, and then you people can just get this answer exactly. Otherwise simply it confuses you. Then next tip, question number tip number 4 is, it says, if you find any difficult word, try to understand its meaning with reference to the context. So what happens, sometimes it is difficult for us to identify the meaning of word. Some words are new to us, and in that case we people do not get its meaning. So what you can do, you people have to guess the meaning from context. So you know the meaning of earlier word, you know the meaning of after word also, then in that case you have to guess the meaning of middle word. Then next tip number 5 says, try to understand the tone of the author. Tone of the author, what writer is trying to convey, whether he is making some request, whether he is giving detailed information, whether he is trying to appeal something, or whether he is just giving information. So what writer wants, what is intention of writer behind this passage, you people try to understand. So that is tone of the author. The next point you people have to think, that is about answer in full sentences. Don't write in write answer in one word or one phrase. Okay, answer in full sentences. And don't copy lines from the passage as they are. Sometimes if answer is there, in that case it will be okay, but you people have to ensure that you are not going to copy the lines from the passage as it is. Sometimes 2 to 3 4 lines are copied as it is, so don't do these things. Exact answer only people have to write it down. Okay, so we people will discuss this paragraph here one, and then we people will discuss question answers also. Okay, so see, pay attention to the uh, screen. Exercise first says, Kumble is a tall young man with a run as springy as an antelope's bound. His long, bony finger can easily spin a ball. He is the second bowler in 122 years to take all 10 wickets in an innings. His record spell, 10 for 74 against Pakistan at the Firoz Shah Kotla, helped India win the second test. The only other person to have taken 10 wickets in an innings was Jim Laker, whose figures are 10 for 53. After the last wicket was taken, Kumble couldn't find the ball. He wanted to keep it as memento. Well, luckily, his friend Venkatesh Prasad had it and gave it to him. Kumble believes in 3 Ds: determination, discipline, and dedication. Minutes before flying to Sharjah for a test match, he had the time and concern to telephone a young boy who was seriously ill and almost certain to die. It made the boy's last day happy. They say he is a matador who looks like a chess player. Okay, so this is a passage, and I, as I told, that you people have to read it, but sometimes it is not possible that in one reading you people are going to understand everything. So in this case you people are required have second or third reading also. So if you do not understand, you people can read it, but now I we imagine that you will understand it. So we'll discuss now questions based on this passage. So here is first question. It says, uh, what was the thing Kumble wanted to keep it as memento, and who gave it to him? So you people have to answer me now. So there are two questions. First question, what was the thing that Kumble wanted to keep as memento? So what was the thing?
The ball from which takes 10 wickets in an inning.
I could not hear your voice. Here it is one thing
Kumble
that
wants to take the ball from which he takes 10 wickets in an inning.
yes, it was the ball. So that ball wanted to keep as memento. So that is the first question, and answer is ball, but you people are going to write it in full sentence. Second question is who gave it to him? Kuni dila?
His
Venkatesh
friend
Prasad.
Venkatesh Prasad.
Yes, exactly. So here you people have to answer in full sentence that the Kumble wanted to keep the ball as a memento, and his friend Venkatesh Prasad gave it to him. So this way you people just try to answer. Then we are going to read this second question. Second question is who was Jim Laker? So answer me, who was Jim Laker? कौन है जिम लेकर? In passage you can find that here is Jim Laker.
Only person to have 10 wickets in an innings was Jim Laker.
Yes, exactly. So only other person, you people have to mention only other person. So one is Kumble and other person is Jim Laker. And what is their record? That they have taken 10 wickets in an innings and their figures also. So you have to answer that Jim Laker was the only other person who has taken 10 wickets in an innings, and his score is something like, if it is given there you have to mention that 10 for 53, and if it is not mentioned score, that will be okay, because here ask only who is Jim Laker. Okay. Then next, number 3, what are 3 D's that Kumble believes in? So what are 3 D's?
Determination, discipline, and dedication.
Yes, Kumble believes in 3 D's: determination, discipline, and dedication. So simple paragraph, simple questions. The next, number 4, how did Kumble make the boys last day happy? So how Kumble made the boys last day happy?
He calls him uh,
Hmm.
before going to Sharjah for a test match.
Yes, exactly. So, see, Kumble now he is a cricketer player, international player, but simply he could think that who is that boy and why should I call him, and now I'm going to play a match. But Kumble didn't do like this. He has concern, he has worry, and out of his busy schedule, he has taken time. He called that boy. That boy was seriously ill, and that boy is about to die, but still he has called that boy and he talked with him, and because of that it made boys last day happy. Okay, so here is the answer that you people can locate and people can tell me. The next, number 5, it says find the words from the passage that means the same of the following, and you people have to find out like a graceful leaping deer. So you people have to find out that antelope or antelope's bound, this is the answer. Okay, and remembrance, that means memento. So these are answers for this. Number 6, what sort of identification is given to Kumble? So Kumble is given identification as a matador who looks like a chess player. Okay, so this is the identity, a matador who looks like a chess player. Okay, so similarly people just practice paragraph number 2, which is about plants, trees. Number 3 is here, which is about importance of concentration. Then number 4 is also here, which is about Swami Vivekanand. So all you practice, uh, don't try to copy answers from this passage, but you try to find out your own answers. Okay, so that was all about today. We people are going to stop here today. If you have any questions, suggestions, ideas, anything, you may ask. Meanwhile, I have to confirm absent numbers. Let me see, roll number 11 absent today, roll number 20, roll number 20 is there. Okay, roll number 31 absent, then roll number 29 is also not there usually, so only 11 and 31 they are absent for today's class. Okay, so Is there any question, difficulty? So should we stop here? Should I end this meeting for everyone? Yes, Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So with this note, I'm going to end this meeting for everyone. Thank you for joining today, and you just continue your studies, but don't restrict your study for getting marks only. You people just get command over English, improve your English, your oral communication. For everybody, it is not the concern whether is your branch is civil, your branch is CSC, your branch is whatever your branch may be, but you people have to improve your English communication, and which is need of time. You might be getting 90% marks, but if you are not able to speak English, it will be very difficult for you to start your career afterwards. So therefore, from begin, you people are in first year, so you people have a lot of time to practice, a lot of time to learn, and these days you people having smartphones in your hand, so don't spend your time to watch some videos on social media. So rather than, you just use it for improving your oral communication, improve your English, how you can start speaking. So within short span of time, you should just get command over English, and once you got the command over English, it will be easier for you to go anywhere in the world, everywhere in the world, with whatever and whenever it is required. You people can speak in English. So make it your strength. It should not be your weakness that you are not able to speak English, you do not understand English. Then it will be difficult for you, and it will become your drawback, your weakness. Rather than, I would like to suggest you people just start working from today onwards and make that English is your strength. You can communicate anywhere with anybody. Okay. So with this note, I will end this meeting for everyone.